hitting your face with a fucking hammer actually came from a troll on an incel forum. So, which leads me to believe that this idea came from an episode of SpongeBob SquarePants. Because if y'all have ever seen the episode where Squidward gets all smashed up and turns handsome, it's literally fucking Squidward gets bone smashed and turns into a mog.
That is so fucked up. It's fucked up. So fucked up. It is just so damn fucked up. That's fucked up.
Da, da, da. Okay, here we go. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm so freaking nervous. I'm literally sitting here by myself at my in-home studio, and this is one of the most nervous I've been to record an episode. I've done live solo episodes on YouTube, but I've never done a solo podcast episode. So you guys, welcome to me losing my solo podcast virginity. Welcome to one of our new segments, Ash Goes Down the Rabbit Hole, where I explore pop culture, the internet, social media, movies and TV, music and podcasts, and other random topics, musings, questions, wonderings, and wanderings. I'm your host, Ashley Love Richards, and I invite you guys to come down the rabbit hole with me. So yeah, oh my gosh, here we go. I guess I'm just going to talk to you guys like you're my co-hosts, because I've always been really impressed with people who could do a solo podcast, because you're talking to fucking nobody. I mean, I'm just talking to a microphone right now, and I just pulled up the video so I could look at myself, so it at least feels like I'm talking to another person, kind of. But I kind of wanted this to be my little corner where I could just fucking blab at you guys about whatever weird rabbit hole I'm down this week, or generally there's multiple, but I have to choose what I'm going to talk about. So for the first episode, you guys, I chose this one because it's a little bit more scripted than the next one that I have, which is going to be about baby reindeer. And right now I feel a tad bit more comfortable with something that's a little bit more scripted. And it's pretty topical because although it's not about Andrew Tate, it is about the manosphere and looksmaxxing. And you guys are like, what the fuck are you talking about? Probably most of you, I know, but don't worry. This episode's going to be like a giant fucking dictionary, and we're going to learn so much. So you guys come down the fucking looksmaxxing manosphere rabbit hole with me. I'm moving my hands so much. I'm literally like just swirling them around. I'm fully Bobby fucking from Talladega Nights right now. I don't know what to do with my hands, you guys. But anywho, I feel like fucking Charlie from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia in the Pepe Silva episode with the red strings. And it's fucking red strings everywhere, you guys. But it's also pills. It's red pills and red string. And then it's also black pills versus the red pills and blue pills, which not the purple and yellow pills like Eminem and that was Eminem and somebody. You guys, you know what song, some of you guys know what song I'm talking about. But anyways, it's kind of topical because although I'm not talking about Andrew Tate because he needs his whole own fucking episode, this is actually going to be a really good introduction to the kind of world that Andrew Tate is a big part of and very influential in. So yeah, we're going to be digging into and what the fucking at alpha culture, which I've been doing for quite a while now, trying to understand this, not in this episode, but as we go into this series, because fuck, there's a lot to talk about with all of this. We're gonna talk about alpha influencers and alpha podcasts and fucking TikTok dating coaches and boyfriend POVs and weird ass shit. And in this episode, I'm gonna tell you guys about alphas and chads Chads and Chad Lights and Giga Chads. Not so much about betas, but that's another episode, you guys. So I've been digging into all of this crazy stuff for a while. And this led me to the discovery of Just Pearly Things, which is the name of this girl's podcast and YouTube. Her name is Hannah Pearl Davis, and she also gets her own whole ass episode. And what I learned about from Pearl, as she goes by, I learned that there's the manosphere and red pills and black pills, which I mentioned a minute ago, and I'm going to define those. Don't worry, you guys. I'm going to define all of this. And as I was diving deep into the manosphere, trying to understand this insane fucking toxic world, I stumbled upon looksmaxxing. Now, you guys, at this point of what the fuckery, when I saw that in order to understand looksmaxxing, I also had to know what other associated terms meant, such as carrot maxing and so many other maxing and pulling terms, and mogging and gooning and jilking. No, not jilping, not like a jilp you for all my office lovers out there. That's it's when Aaron's playing the word game with Gabe. So jelking, which actually is one of the very few fucking words that my autocorrect knew. Really? I've never fucking once written that. I write fucking every day and it still corrects me to ducking every time. So what the shit, autocorrect. But yeah, it knew what jelking was. And it's a penis growth technique, which we'll get into later because it's higher up on the ladder of extreme looksmaxxing. So before we go any further, I'm going to tell you guys that what I found in countless hours of watching YouTube and TikTok videos. So before we go any further into the story, I'm going to tell you kind of how I'm going to be going about it. I'm going to kind of summarize and glossarize what I have found from watching countless hours of YouTube and TikTok. Oh my God. You guys, I'm not going to lie. TikTok scares the shit out of me. I'm pretty sure it's the end of humanity. And I'm going to be talking about it so much more coming up because it is a lot going on over there. All right. So I had to literally start off with breaking this down into who, what, why, and where when I started making this outline because it's so many kind of terms and interwoven spider webs that I really had to just start with like, okay, let's get basic. So what? Looksmaxxing. And this is a term with origins in online incel forums and refers to maximizing one's own physical attractiveness. Ladies, I don't know about you, but I've been looksmaxxing since middle school. Am I right? It's a whole different thing. You guys will hear. So why are they looksmaxxing? To mog and up their SMVs. Mogging is an expanding piece of vocabulary from the looksmaxxing TikTokers. A mog or mogging, a mog stands for man of God, which I don't know it's not a religious thing, so I don't know why there's that weird religious undertone because originally the term was amog, alpha male of the group, which was a popular expression used in incel-centric message boards as early as 2016 to describe someone who had total control over whatever situation or group they were in. You guys, that's like a giga chad, okay? Which, don't worry, I will define. But now on TikTok, a mog is someone who has completely achieved looksmaxxing. To mog someone is to look better than them. Yeah, stick with me, you guys. SMV stands for sexual market value. So you're looks maxing, which you're trying to maximize your own physical attractiveness so that you can be a mog or a man of God, aka somebody who's just like super fucking hot, a giga chad. And if you're mogging somebody else, you're basically just like winning at being physically attractive. So, I mean, yeah. And the goal of this is to up your SMV, your sexual market value. Where is this happening, you guys? TikTok and in the manosphere. What's the manosphere? The manosphere is a collection of online communities. And within the manosphere, you have groups like men's rights activists, incels, aka involuntarily celibate men going their own way, an anti-feminist, misogynistic, mostly online community advocating for men to separate themselves from women in society because, it's all been corrupted by feminism. And it's, so they're like, fuck women, fuck society. These men are scary. They're the let's burn it all down kind of dudes. And, you've got pickup artists. Does anybody remember that show on VH1? I feel like, or MTV probably. It was called The Pickup Artist. And there was that dude in that ridiculous fucking fuzzy the fuzzy hat. Oh my God, you guys, please leave a comment if you know what I'm talking about. But, just other pro-masculinity and pro-misogyny groups. They all generally believe that society is biased against men due to the influence of feminism and that feminists promote misandry or hatred of men. And acceptance of these ideas is described as taking the red pill. You guys, this one, it's a lot to wrap your head around, but I found an article called Red Pill to Black Pill, Misogynist Incels and Male Supremacism, Overview and Recommendations for Addressing the Threat of Male Supremacist Violence. The Matrix, by Megan Kelly, Alex DeBronco, and Dr. Julia DeCook. And you guys, I have sources in the show notes if you want to look further into any of the stuff that I've been looking at. But this is all directly from their writing. And yeah, so here we go. The red pill, a term that comes from the 1999 film, has become a framework for individuals to describe their awakening to some previously hidden supposed reality. The major contemporary secular male supremacist movements, pickup artists, men's rights activists, the red pill, and men going their own way, all use this terminology to describe their, quote, realization that men do not hold systematic power or privilege. Instead, they awaken to the, quote, truth that socially, economically, and sexually, men are at the whims of women's and feminists' power and desires. As in the film, to be blue-pilled is to accept the mainstream narrative and choose to live in ignorance of the truths of the world. Red pillers see themselves as intellectually superior to, quote, blue-pilled normies. The red pill terminology grew in male supremacist forums and was adopted more broadly by far-right and white supremacist groups to describe their own versions of awakenings. Conspiracist worldviews that often overlaps with male supremacist positions, such as anti-feminism. Beginning around 2016, misogynist incel forums began to shift from a red pill to an increasingly black pill mentality. This belief system accepts the red pill view of society dominated by women, but rejects individual level attempts such as learning game to achieve a sexual relationship with women as misguided, asserting that only change at a societal level has the possibility to be effective. Black pill adherents believe that looks are genetically determined and that women choose sexual partners based solely on physical features, which is also known as lookism. So whether or not a person will be an incel is predetermined. Misogynist incels attempt to prove the truth of the black pill through misreadings of scientific studies, online dating data sets, and their own experiments to prove that women only care about a man's physical looks. Although some incels still seek out plastic surgery, workout, or gym max, or try to otherwise improve their physical features, many believe such strategies are pointless as inceldom is a problem with society, not the individual. Black-pilled incels are aware of appearance and sociability game strategies and reject them as solutions. The black pill philosophy typically offers only two options for what to do with their new accepted reality. Accept their fate as an incel or try to change society to their benefit, usually advocated as potentially achievable by means of mass violence and terror, not politics or other methods of change. Quote, copes are looked down on as methods of coping without changing the unjust system, including denying the reality of the black pill. For those who choose to accept their black-pilled fate, suicide is often presented as the most inevitable solution. It is also encouraged in misogynistic incel communities as a form of sacrificial violence and or martyrdom. Incels talk about potential self-harm, giving up hope, or suicide by using phrases such as rope, committing suicide by hanging oneself, LDAR, lay down and rot, or sui fuel, suicide fuel. Sui fuel, it's over, brutal, and it never began are popular responses to and tags for posts that members feel exemplify the truth of the black pill. Whoa, Nelly. Oh my God, you guys. What? Right? What? Okay. So I looked up rope maxing on TikTok and I found a video of a pretty handsome young man. And it says, me having a neutral canthal tilt and hunter eyes, but am 5'2". It's over for me. And yeah, you guys, it's the fucking goddamn trigger warning. The caption is rope maxing for real. Hashtag mogme, hashtag black pill curse, hashtag bone smashing, which yes, again, I promise I will define all of these things. So black pillars wouldn't really be looksmaxers because as far as I can understand, I'm pretty sure if you're black pill, you're not going to do any of these quote copes because you've already accepted that your inceldom is a reality, and so you still have to be pretty red pill to do all of the stuff that we're going to talk about, including bone smashing, which he hashtagged, which is hitting your face with a fucking hammer or other hard object to there's a lot of trying to restructure the structure of your face. Yeah. So yeah, like I said, it's definitely more kind of like red pill incel stuff, but at probably just as disturbing of, yet less overtly nefarious level. It's appealing to fucking 13-year-olds on TikTok with low self-esteem. And I think, creating it's creating some, problematic things. I was, reading the comments on a lot of the videos and TikToks and stuff. And you guys, sometimes the comment section is the fucking best place. Not on TikTok, on YouTube. So somebody said in the comments, as someone who struggles greatly with diagnosed somatic OCD, what a great way to introduce somatic OCD in teenagers. It's a type of OCD that focuses on all this stuff, including how you breathe, blink, and swallow. It's different for everyone. This is how I started, doing facial exercises to try and change my face. If you're not already mentally ill, it's very rare to develop severe somatic OCD. but shit like this is a mental death sentence to those who are vulnerable. The dysmorphia is going to be insane. So, looksmaxxing. This is kind of done by all genders. It's definitely mostly dudes, but I did see quite a few girls on TikTok doing it as well. Like I said, women have been looksmaxxing forever, but in the past, if men took, basic care of themselves, it was historically called gay or metro, which it is, I would say, essentially like the same as metrosexual. That is a man living in an urban culture who is especially meticulous and scrupulous about his personal style, grooming, and appearance. So now what is it? Are men okay to say that it's just like basic personal hygiene, or do they have to come up with a word like looksmaxxing? Well, these men do. These boys. So looksmaxxing originated on the now defunct lookism.net, which was, quote, the forefront of the coping movement. Okay. So first you start with soft maxing, which is it's just rebranded basic personal hygiene. Shower, shave, eat well, get enough sleep, moisturize, stretch, pretty basic shit. Then you can try to fix your canthal tilt, which is apparently the way that your eyebrows are. I think mine are negative. I think I have prey eyes because I have a negative tilt, and that makes you look weak and vulnerable. I think it makes me look sad, but I guess fuck, you're weak and vulnerable. Anyways, that's what they say. Then they say a positive canthal tilt will give you hunter eyes, or also make you look kind of evil, which is awesome in their book. You can squint max, which is just doing a bunch of squinting, which I feel like that can be good for your eyes. You can also do eye pulling to change the orientation of your canthal tilt, or can you? You can try. But Jesus, you guys, I was watching videos and just wrinkles. Oh, wrinkles. They're just pulling at the skin next to their eyes, which is, guys, no. There is mewing. Mew. Not like a cat. It's named after Dr. Mewing, and this is where you focus on keeping your tongue on the roof of your mouth to change the shape of your jawline. I think I unconsciously mew all the time, but I think it's called anxiety and resting bitch face. So I don't know. Oh, y'all, so much gum and hard gum. They go online and they buy this gum that it's the consistency of rocks, and sometimes they will chew for up to 16 hours a day. So essentially, if you're getting a good 8-hour night sleep, that is the entire fucking time you're awake. Another couple pulling exercises you can do are thumb pulling and belt pulling. So many jaw exercises and, looksmaxxing tools that you can buy on Amazon and shit were to exercise your jaw. I think the jaw and reshaping the jaw is 90% of this thing here. I mean, Chad, a real Chad, has, he has the chin of a god and he will mog all over you all day. So watch out. You can carrot max. This could give you an orange glow, and you can achieve this by eating up to, about like 7 pounds of carrots a day. That's ideally. Somebody said in the comments, my friend did the carrot thing. He didn't look tan. He looked like he had jaundice, liver failure, because he was straight up yellow. Somebody else said, I've been dwarf maxing for the past 3 months. I've already lost 4 inches and grown a long beard. You guys, sometimes I don't even watch the video. I just read the comments, because sometimes that you can learn all you need to know and more there. Not always, but sometimes. All right. And then we got hard maxing, which is usually some sort of plastic surgery, sometimes with a doctor, or sometimes in the case of bone smashing, DIY, save a few shekels, right? But hitting your face with a fucking hammer actually came from a troll on an incel forum. So, which leads me to believe that this idea came from an episode of SpongeBob SquarePants. SquarePants. Because if y'all have ever seen the episode where Squidward gets all smashed up and turns handsome, it's literally fucking Squidward gets bone smashed and turns into a Mog. You guys, that is what the episode is. There's literally even a quote in the episode that says, "Look at that jawline." So tell me that bone smashing did not start from a troll in an incel forum who took it from a goddamn SpongeBob episode. You guys, where am I? Do we live in an episode of Black Mirror? If we do, and you know, message me, okay? Like, I won't tell, but I have suspicions and I need to know. So, next is starve maxing, which is just fucking straight up anorexia, you guys. It's hard maxing, also leg lengthening, is an extreme some people go to. It's where you get a fucking rod in your leg, usually, unless maybe you have like a height difference. I don't know, whatever. But anyways, you fucking make your legs longer and it looks painful as shit. But you know what? As also with plastic surgery, beauty is pain, you know? And women have been doing crazy things for years, like getting their nipples sliced open and then having people just shove fucking bags full of salt water just right under the muscle, and not from experience or anything. So, you know, it's we're all a little crazy out here with the looks maxing. I think our version of looks maxing and like the kind of pressure came from Cosmo magazine and all that shit. And then these guys are not, I don't know. I guess in their minds, society is giving them messages that they're ugly and not good enough. But it's generally, I think, that they're ugly on the inside. It's like, bro, nobody cares that you're 5'2". Hashtag short king didn't become a thing for a reason. Okay. People do care, for sure. There are lots of girls who like have to have a tall dude, but there are plenty of women who will definitely be with shorter men. And so it just means, I think, that you're ugly inside. But if you're an incel, you're not listening. So who am I talking to? You guys, right? Myself, mostly. And you. Okie dokie. So before we get into jelking, I'm going to tell you about gooning or goon maxing. And basically, you can just add maxing onto anything. I saw a TikTok where this guy was like, check me out after 6 months of ... style maxing, hair maxing, gym maxing, all the stuff you could do to make yourself look better. But he was just doing it all to the max, I guess, is what's up. So I'm going to read you guys the definition of gooning from Urban Dictionary because it's amazing. Thank you, Funky Jerker, for writing this in February of 2012. You were a man ahead of your time. Well, you were just definitely an incel. No, shit. Who came up with this? Fuck, I don't know. All right, listen. Gooning may be most simply defined as that state usually achieved after a prolonged edging session, when a man becomes completely hypnotized by the feeling radiating his penis. If y'all don't know what edging is, that's when you you go to like the edge of orgasm and then you come back and blah blah blue. So gooning is just like you just fucking like edge for days, or you like overstim or hyperstim, or I don't know, where you just like come a shit ton, but you just like you get all gooned out. Since a gooning state can only be achieved after edging, that's not what I heard somewhere else, the man's dick will have become mightily aroused at this point, and every caress the male genitals are subjected to will trigger potent elation. Also, shout out to River for sending me the song version of this. I will put that in the show notes. As the man keeps edging and thus keeps experiencing intense pleasure, he enters a state of trance where his mind intimately merges with his cock, the gooning state, where he and his dick become one. To be even more acute, when the gooning state is... Thank you. I needed you to be more acute, sir. When the gooning state is achieved, the man's body becomes, for all intents and purposes, an appendage to his erection. When this state is achieved, the male becomes freed of all social codes of contact, and his arousal alone dictates his reactions. As a result, a gooned out man will become very expressive and demonstrative. He may become very vocal, while his body and face might take on undignified expressions and poses, all in response to the intensely exquisite caresses his penis is exposed to. Hence the term goon, since at this point, the man effectively looks like a silly, foolish, or eccentric person. Gooning is not a narcissistic manifestation. Narcissism is extreme selfishness with a grandiose view of one's talents. Thank you, funky jerker. Rather, gooning is closer to a meditation experience where the mind and the body align, focused on a single thought or feeling in this case. Example, I spent 10 hours gooning over the weekend. 10 hours? That's fucking commitment. I mean, bravo. I saw a video on TikTok where this guy was like, before and after goon maxing. Or maybe he said during and after goon maxing, but he starts off with this like really cross-eyed, tongue out face, and then he just kind of like transforms his face into like a very good looking dude. And it's like, I think you're just already good looking and you just made that weird face at the beginning. But also if he's doing that, then he's an incel. And no shit, because it's confusing, you guys, because I don't necessarily think that all of the guys doing the looksmaxxing shit are incels. I think there's a lot of crossover with that and like insecure teenagers who are probably on their way to becoming incels. So also there's jelqing, like I mentioned at the top, which is a penis stretching exercise. It involves massaging your penis tissues, stretching the skin to create micro tears that look engorged when they heal. And this supposedly makes your penis look longer or thicker. Kind of like, any other muscle, guys. No, for the love of all that is holy, please, no. And like I mentioned earlier, rope maxing. If you're still an incel after you've tried all of this, then you should just rope max, which is unalive yourself. And ideally, you should be a hero and, kill a bunch of fucking liberals or, basically on your way out. So, and, this new documentary on Andrew Tate is out. I haven't gotten a chance to watch it yet, but it's called something like Andrew Tate into the Manosphere. So I'm curious as to what they cover in that, but I hope that this gave you guys a good understanding of, really quick, if you guys didn't get it, a Chad is a very handsome dude, usually a tall alpha, and he has to be white. So there's definitely racism in this. I don't know there's other Chad. I don't know. A Chad has to be white though, so that's racist as shit, but that seems pretty built into the red pill, black pill community for the most part. A Giga Chad is a super hot and like fucking awesome Chad. He's the Chad of Chads. And a Chad Light is a Chad who has not yet reached his full Chad potential. I know I said Chad a lot, and I don't think I defined it until right then. So, you guys, that's looksmaxxing and mogging and the manosphere and SMV, sexual market value, red pills, black pills, carrot maxing, starve maxing, goon maxing, all the maxings and all the pullings. Oh, yeah, I think I might have skipped over. There's, after the eye pulling, there's thumb pulling and belt pulling, where you just pull at your jaw, essentially, to try to change the shape of your shit. It's wild. Anyway, you guys, I hope that you loved the first episode of Ash Goes Down the Rabbit Hole. I think this will definitely be one of my longer ones, but Who knows? This was quite a few pages of notes, though, because straight up, we had to make a glossary and a dictionary, and now we'll all be well informed moving forward when we talk more about the alpha fucking horse shit that is the internet. I was like, oh, who's telling them all this shit? People like Andrew Tate. They're like, listen, you're a beta bitch soy boy, but if you follow me, don't worry, I'll teach you how to be a fucking sex trafficker because I'm a piece of shit. Fuck Andrew Tate. We'll talk about him later. Love you guys. Thanks for coming down the rabbit hole with me, and I will see you next time.
Bum 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 bum. That's fucked up. I'm so fucked up. Can't you see? It's just really fucked. That's fucked up.